Assalamualaikum and good evening. My name is Azlina. Today I want to present a conceptual framework for conducting training needs analysis based on Cudbas approach. This is my presentation layout. Introduction, literature review, methodology and finding and discussion. Okay. For introduction, a formal approach for organization to update employees' acquisition of job-related knowledge, skills, and attitude is by training. My problem statement for this study is before sending the employee before any organization sending the training, there is very important to identify the needs of employees because the organization will invest the huge amount of money in training and programs. So every organization have to identify the training needs using various training needs analysis tool to determine or to find out what is the needs or what is the what do you have to train the employees. Okay, one of the TNA approach is using Cudbas. Okay, research objective. This paper or this research is to study I want to study the main goal of this study is to develop a conceptual framework for conducting TNA based on Cudbas approach with more emphasis given to TVET and industrial needs. Okay, for the objective one, I want to conduct critical literature review on the theories of TNA to determine the levels of TNA involved in Cudbas approach, to identify the methods for TNA that suit with Cudbas approach, to identify the techniques for TNA that suit with Cudbas approach, to develop a conceptual framework in the integrate finding using a TNA using Cudbas approach. Okay, here is my research question. I have 6 research questions, which is what are the levels of training needs found in the existing TNA study? Okay. The second question is what are the common methods to determine TNA found in existing studies? What are the methods for TNA that suit with Cudbas activity? Research question 4 is what the methods for TNA that suit with Cudbas activity? What are the common techniques to conduct training needs analysis? And the last one is what are the techniques for TNA that suit with Cudbas activities? Okay, what is the significance of this study? The study supports continuing efforts by TVET agencies that host by CIAS, Center for Instructor and Advanced Skill Training, to introduce Cudbas and improve implementation of Cudbas in Malaysia. Secondly, the study is allowed to all directors or manager for human resource or key person that involved in TNA making decision using or knowing Cudbas for use Cudbas for training methods as a training methods. Okay. Study scope. For this study is the present study limits itself into 6 research questions that I have raised. The study also limited to the study of TNA theory, which involved the levels of TNA, methods in determining TNA, and techniques in conducting TNA. And then this study also is limited to study only of Cudbas method, which consists of 4 stages. Okay, this chapter analyze critically the literature and identify the issues related to DNA. So my literature review is actually using okay, this is my literature review, benefits of training, and also I have found about various type of DNA or training needs analysis method that agency use. Okay. Okay, for my research method for this study is by this chapter is describe the design and procedure used for data collection of this study. In this study, a desk research design is used in order to answer the research question. Desk research is actually the collection of secondary data from internal resources from internal resources. Okay, so my data source or my research methodology is from internet, a library or trade associate, a government agency, and also from published report. Okay, so from this is my finding. Okay, for my research question number 1, in what are the level of analysis found in existing TNA studies? Okay, in TNA studies or training needs analysis studies, there are uh, three level of analysis. Okay, the first level is organizational analysis. The second level is operation or task analysis, and the last one is individual or person analysis. Okay. For my second research question, what are the level of DNA found in Cudbas activities? Okay. From the Cudbas, they have 4 stages in Cudbas method. In the first stage, involve activities to develop the Cudbas chart. Okay. These activities is on organization level analysis. Okay, or task analysis or individual analysis. Okay. Based on the table show all 7 activities are in stage 1 that are related to task analysis. Okay. For research question number 2 also, in the second stage of Cudbas involve the activities to develop short-term training schedule. Okay. So, in TNA, training needs analysis, there is at organizational analysis. Okay. Then the third one, in the third stage of Cudbas, that involve activities to develop ability checklist and ability map. This one is activities in individual analysis. And the last one, table shows the mapping between activities in Cudbas and then the activities in TNA, normal TNA analysis. Okay, for research question 3, what are the common methods to determine TNA found in existing studies? So, there are also various of TNA method for the studies. Okay. Okay, for research question 4, what are the methods for TNA that suit with Cudbas approach? This is the map table, summary table for mapping stage in Cudbas, level of TNA and data collection method. So, in the first stage of Cudbas, they will produce one Cudbas chart. This is for the task analysis in TNA level. So, data collection, which is in application, is focus group, advisory, and committees. Okay, for the second stage is the short-term training schedule. Level of TNA is organizational analysis. Okay, then the third stage is ability checklist and ability map. This one on TNA level is on the task analysis and individual analysis table. And lastly, in fourth stage of Cudbas, yearly training plan. This one is for organizational analysis in TNA level. Okay, for research question number 5, what are the common technique to conduct TNA found in existing study? This one is how we want to get or how we can do TNA. In the organization level, we have organization scanning, balance scorecard, SWOT analysis or PES analysis. Okay. For operational, they have job analysis, competency analysis, and skill inventory. And at individual level, they have performance review, repertory, versatile chart, and diary analysis. And lastly, for my last research question is what are the techniques for TNA that suit with Cudbas activities? So this is my finding. On Cudbas, they have 4 stage, and then the mapping they will mapping with TNA. So this one is TNA, key data collection and recommended technique. So the table shows the summary of technique for conducting TNA based on level of analysis of TNA and the activities in all stage of Cudbas from stage 1 to stage 4. The recommended technique are to be applied in Cudbas approach as shown accordingly to each stage of Cudbas. That means we can mapping all the TNA activities with the Cudbas method. Okay, this one. Lastly, this is my finding, and this one is my conceptual framework. Consists of Cudbas outcome for each stage and the level of TNA involved. Okay, all level analysis in TNA, namely organizational analysis, task analysis, and individual analysis, are shown in the framework accordingly to the stage of Cudbas method. Okay, then data collection method and data collection method and technique to conduct TNA are also included in the framework. So we can see from the framework how Cudbas stage is mapping, or how Cudbas stage play the rules in TNA session. Okay. The overview of the finding from this desk research is presented in chapter 4 is as follow. The level in TNA which found in existing study are organizational analysis, operational analysis, and individual analysis. Okay. From this study also, they reveal that all 3 levels of TNA are converted in activities of Cudbas. Okay. Common method for data collection found in existing studies are survey, questionnaire, focus group, interviews, performance appraisal, observation, test assessment center, document review, and advisory committees. Data collection methods for TNA that suit to Cudbas approach are focus group, advisory committees, and survey questionnaire. Common technique for conducting TNA found in existing study for organization level is organization scanning, balance scorecard, and SWOT analysis. In task level, job analysis, competency analysis, and skill analysis. In individual level is performance review appraisal, repertory grid analysis, and versatile chart. So, techniques for TNA which suit the activities in the first stage of Cudbas is job analysis, and for the activities in second stage are SWOT analysis, organization scanning, balance scorecard. Recommended technique for task analysis in the third stage is job analysis. And for individual analysis, the formal review, appraisal, and versatile chart. For the final stage of Cudbas, SWOT analysis, organizational scanning, and balance scorecard are recommended. So, in conclusion, TNA must first examine the content of organization, as known as organization analysis. In the first level of analysis, needs analysis to examine all the component of organization. There are 3 steps that I have told before. That is, determine the training climate, identification of external and legal constraints that will affect the training effort. In time being, a method of analyzing task abilities which reliability prescribed, the training procedure nearly doesn't exist. From literature review, it suggests to build a method that may begin professional set of category of relative specific training methods and condition an essential step to test the value of providing specific method and condition in training in real environment. Based on existing review also, the procedure is easier to train than principle needed to be supported by job training or no training at all. A group may achieving a better performance by following procedure than attempting to work from the first principle. On the other hand, the cost of producing good procedure guides may be tough. Okay, in this situation, we may apply Cudbas to produce good procedure guidance with minimum cost. So, that's all for my training, for my presentation. See you again.